We're here at Forest Park Animal Hospital where we're going to visit Dr. Steven Favoloro and see what he does for our furry friends. Come on in.
Here, come on, girlfriend. Come on, girlfriend. This is my personal dog. She actually, her kneecap popped out, and so Dr. Bartels had him do the surgery on her, and she went from like not being able to walk, and now she's doing great. She's supposed to have cage rest for three months, which is no fun. I was like, come on, Rick, really 3 months? But she's doing really well, you know, and it's kind of one of the important things about keeping him quiet is that, he can do the best surgery in the world. If I don't follow up and do the best job I can as a pet owner to keep her sitting still, then I could ruin all the work he did.
Right, and so it's not like you bring your dog into a vet, you fix him, and you're back out again.
There's a certain amount of responsibilities that are on your part, and you have to be able to accept, the things that are expected of you, and if you can't, then, it's not going to work out very well.
He looks like a very muscular dog.
She is. He's very muscular. Hey, she's very muscular, huh?
Tough little guy.
She's tired. She's tired of being caged up, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Huh, girlfriend? Where are you going? Eye popped out last night.
So his eye came out.
Yeah, it was pretty much bulging all the way out. And so went ahead and knocked him out and popped it back in, and then sewed his eyelids together so that way it won't come back out. And we'll leave that in for about 14 days, and then we'll take the stitches out, and then we'll determine there if he's got muscular function and see if we can at the very least cosmetically save the eye.
Okay, now what's going on? What are you going to do now?
I'm going to put a catheter in this dog so we can administer its chemotherapy.
Okay.
One of the things people really have a hard time grasping sometimes, like when we're talking to this owner about her options, and with osteosarcoma, there's no cure for it, but it's painful. So you got destruction of the bone can no longer support weight. Sometimes it gets so weak that it'll actually break. It's called a pathological fracture when the disease process gets too bad. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll remove the leg, so we just remove the source of pain. So if you just amputate the leg, you're not going to get nearly as much of a remission of it as if you do like chemotherapy. So in this one we're doing a chemotherapy every 3 weeks, and so we just have to monitor the liver and kidneys, and we also have to monitor the white blood cell count, because the chemo has side effects that, if you're not careful, will actually hurt the dog. And so this dog's done really well. We haven't had a lot of hiccups as far as complications with this treatment. The dog's doing really well.
All right, we will shoot around you, but we will get your hands at some point. Okay, puppy. It's all right. It's okay.
You already.
Okay, kitty. It's okay.
So this cat has got some sort of eye injury? Is that
Yeah, it's
what's
got
happening?
a scratch in its eye, and it's not really healing. I mean, the cornea is not that vascular, so sometimes the epithelium that's trying to go over that endothelial tissue doesn't always stick, or it doesn't grow like we want it to. So sometimes we actually have to produce more trauma to heal it. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll take a needle and we'll just, like, say the ulcer is like, say this big, then we'll take a needle and we'll just scratch all along it and do what's called a grid keratotomy. And what that does is that irritates it, and then it calls more blood supply to it to allow it to heal. So I'm not going to do that today, and I may take a Q-tip and debride it a little bit, but I don't want to do that going into a holiday and not being accessible to the owner.
Right.
keep wanting to tuck my belt.
Is she fully loaded?
I don't think so.
Now, what are we x-raying, a certain portion or a full body or chest x-ray? Because this dog has what, a pneumonia or something? Or?
Yeah, congestive heart failure.
Oh, okay. So we got to get a good shot of her heart. And, What do we do to make sure our dog is healthy?
I think one of the biggest things you can do is just like observe your dog's behavior. Observe things that they do on a regular basis.
Okay.
So one of the things I'll find is like dogs that have either periodontal disease or hypothyroid disease or severe arthritis is that the owner's observation is that their dog kind of got old overnight. It's an 8 or 9
Sleeping
year
a
old
lot.
dog, just not moving a lot, not as active, just tends to follow people around, sit around. Okay, so then you come in, you find out they got 4 abscessed teeth. You do a dental, you pull the teeth, and then the owner's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe my dog is actually 9 years old again." And there's a lot of different things that you could observe. If your dog starts losing weight, drinking a lot of water, urinating a lot, panting a lot, he gets grumpy all of a sudden. Normally they didn't do that before. If there's a change in behavior, there's usually a reason.
Right. Welcome back to Waking Up with Don, and I'm here with Cassidy Carow, and she runs a business called Baby Boot Camp.
Yes, sir.
Is this a boot camp for babies or for moms?
It's for mamas, but the babies are definitely an integral part of our workout.
So tell me about the concept of Baby Boot Camp. What's
Sure.
it all about?
They're classes that are run by nationally certified fitness instructors like myself, and we run the mamas through cardiovascular drills, strength training drills, but the kids are with us the whole time in their strollers, so they're safe with us, but we make sure that we do things that are entertaining, so that while we might be doing squats or jump squats, we're saying the alphabet, we're counting, we're spelling their names, we're singing with them. So between that and the movement of the strollers while we're running or walking, the kids are usually giggling and having a great time throughout class while we're working hard and getting a great exercise experience.
So where do you do this? Do you have a gym where you do it? Or
while the weather's nice, we try to take advantage of local parks. So we're at Oaks by the Bay Park while the weather is nice. And thankfully we have a great host location in First United Methodist Church downtown.
Oh, cool.
And so we use their community life center. So they've been very gracious to host us there.
And how often do you meet?
We meet 4 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9:10 to just after 10 o'clock.
So this is really, it's for the moms and the babies, and it's for new moms?
It's for new moms, but it's also for seasoned moms. I'm a mom of 3, and it's still
A
a value.
seasoned mom.
It's
I'm married to a seasoned mom.
Right. So it's for mamas of all ages and all fitness levels, because we make sure that we make sure that the classes are safe for new moms, recently postpartum moms, but also moms who are very seasoned exercisers who have run half marathons or triathletes. So we can cater classes to make sure that everyone has a safe experience, but a really fun experience, both for mamas and babies.
Now, was fitness part of your life before you started
Absolutely.
with the family?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I've always taught, I've taught fitness classes for a long time, but I've also, in high school and college, I've played sports, and so I've always been very active. But once we started thinking that we were going to be having kids, I wanted to make sure that I had something that I could continue my fitness journey, but also I didn't feel comfortable with always leaving babies in nurseries or trying to find babysitters for them. So it's been a great fit for our family, and I'm so glad to be able to share
You're
it
just
with
kind
other
of sharing
moms.
that lifestyle with other people.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can have it all. You can work out, you can still be a mom, you don't have to stay at home.
Bond with your baby and with other, and also I think for a lot of moms, especially first-time moms, we really crave that adult interaction that sometimes we don't get it at home, and even working moms don't necessarily always have the connection the mom connection. Sometimes if they're working with women who don't have other babies, or maybe they're the younger mama in a working environment, they might not have that kind of mom connection. So Baby Boot Camp really provides a social network for moms that really is very crucial. I didn't realize until I had my first baby how much I was going to need that adult interaction along with exercise.
Craving adult conversation at the end of the day.
Amazing.
Yes.
I know.
Dad comes home, he's all talked out.
Right, I know.
What's mom want to do? She wants to
Talk, exactly. I know. So we can get out some
Yeah.
of those yayas in the day. Right.
So tell me about some of the stuff. You brought some paraphernalia with you here.
I did. This is some of the equipment that we use in our classes. We use these /6 resistance bands, so that they're great because they do have this sheath around the outside, so that
you don't get pinched. Or,
right, exactly. And so it's really nice.
Sort of like a bungee cord.
It
right?
is a little bit. The tubing is inside, but it's covered with this sheath around it, so that we can use it in class, but we don't have a risk of it popping and hitting a baby. Or so they're stretchy, so we do things like biceps curls, triceps extensions, lots of shoulder work, arm work, leg work, and there are lots of different resistance. So we have a little easier for new mamas. They go up to very different, more difficult resistance, and we use flat bands as well for a lot of leg work. And then this fun ball is not just for exercise. The kids, of course, you can imagine, love it. But we use it for things like chest presses. We'll put it under our feet for a little instability while we're doing squats. So we've got all kinds of things that are visually stimulating for the kids, but also really good equipment.
Well, maybe
too.
on the other side of this break, you can show us how you use some of this
Absolutely.
stuff.
Happy to. Absolutely.
We're going to Baby Boot Camp. You're watching Waking Up with Don. Welcome back to Waking Up with Don, and I'm here with Cassidy Carow from Baby Boot Camp. Okay, Mom.
All right.
What's the routine you put your moms through?
Some of the exercises that we like to do, a couple that we'll show you with these resistance tubes are, we can do easy biceps curls. If mamas don't have tubing like this at home, you can pick up some heavy cans and they're easily replicable at home. But with our tubing here, if you step on the tube with 1 foot, it'll make it a little bit easier.
Okay.
If you step on with 2 feet and widen your stance a little bit.
And it's got to be kind of even, I guess.
Right. And once you get here, a lot of moms have pretty terrible posture because we're holding babies in the front of our body, especially nursing mamas that we end up with. It's kind of hunchback. So roll your shoulders back and down, lift your chest up, pull your navel to your spine.
Navel to my spine.
Right, exactly. Palms
that old trick.
Right, palms forward and shoulders back, and then just easily exhale as you curl up to your shoulders and inhale down. So you're exhaling as you lift, inhale as you lower. So you think about all those times when you're lifting babies, same things here. So if this is too easy for you, a harder tube like what you have.
You know, my mother was really strong.
Yeah?
She raised dumbbells. All right.
Yeah,
Anyway.
You'll be here all week, right?
Sorry.
So
Try the veal. Don't forget to tip your waitress.
There you go. So this is an easy exercise.
Okay.
You can do triceps extensions, so working the backs of the arms. A lot of mamas and women and people in general are worried about the the little bat wings at the back of the arms that wobble. So if you step on the tubing with 1 foot, and then you take the handle behind you.
Okay, is there any special way I could do this without this whipping up and putting out an eye or anything? Okay,
just
step on
carefully,
it.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. Turn your elbow forward so it points the same direction as your nose.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you're going to exhale as you extend your arm forward.
All right.
And if that is too easy, you step your foot closer towards the working hand. Or if it's too hard, that's one great thing about the tubing, because you can make it work.
You can measure the resistance
Absolutely,
that way.
right.
Instead of changing out weights and going through all that, you just make your line a little shorter,
Absolutely.
and you get a little more resistance.
Right. So those are a couple little arm exercises. I'll show you some neat ways to be able to interact with babies if a mom at home has a couple of babies. So we'll pretend that my ball is my baby. To add a little bit of weight, you can hold your baby close to you to make it a little bit easier, or make it harder on your body, on your shoulders, by holding the baby out away from you, so that you pull your navel to your spine and roll your shoulders back. Your feet are about hip width apart. And you're going to lower down into a squat.
I've got my invisible baby.
Right, exactly. Lower down into your squat. Your weight's in your heels, and your knees are coming out instead of collapsing in. And you push through your heels and you stand up. So you can either just give the baby a little ride that way, or go down, touch the baby down to the floor, exhale, and lift up overhead. Especially if you've got a baby who has good head control, but is still young enough not to be super
So you
heavy.
could actually do exercises with
your baby, absolutely. And you can do things like singing to them. So you can go down, twinkle, twinkle, little star. You can sing with them to interact with them, say their names.
Baby's got to love that.
Oh, they do. They do.
They got to love that.
Right. So keeping baby involvement as our theme. If I come down to a mat or a towel or just carpet at home, if you have a relatively young baby who's not super mobile yet, you can put the baby down between your hands. And either on your knees, if you're not feeling quite strong, or on your toes, we're going to move into a push-up. So that your hands are right underneath your shoulders. Your fingertips are rotated out so that your index fingers are pointing to like 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock on a clock face. And you're going to pull your navel to your spine, push the floor away from you.
Again with the navel to the spine.
I know.
Jeez, okay.
Can you see that's a theme in class?
Yeah, okay.
And you're going to lower down, and as you lower down, the baby's right underneath you, and you can give them a kiss. And
Say,
push
"Hey,
back
baby."
up. Absolutely,
Yeah,
and they
okay.
love it. Right. So you're going down
Because mom's
and up.
zooming in and zooming
Right,
out.
absolutely.
Ooh, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if you have a toddler, that's still, even if they're mobile, they still enjoy that. So on your knees or on your toes, either way. And a lot of moms are also concerned with developing more core strength. So you can do the same kind of exercise, but a plank. And so instead of going down and up, you're just going to hold that position right over your baby, on your knees, if it's a little bit easier, or on your toes with your legs extended. Your belly is nice and tight, fold up into your spine. And that develops that's a great overall exercise. Shoulders and chest, belly, low back.
So it sounds like you've got a whole repertoire of things
We do.
that you can put people through
We do.
to get them back in shape.
We
Now,
do.
how does somebody get in touch with you if they want to do this?
They can call me 819-2842, or they can email cassidy.carow@babybootcamp.com, or if they are on Facebook, if they look on Facebook, they can search for Baby Boot Camp Panama City on Facebook.
Cassidy Carow, thanks so much
You're
for
so
coming
welcome.
on the show. I
It's
appreciate
my pleasure.
what
Thanks
you're
for
doing.
inviting me. I loved it.
Yeah, I feel like a strong mother now.
Absolutely. Anytime you want to join us.
We'll see you on the other side of this break. I got a press release here that I want to share with you. It says that texting and driving has overtaken drunk driving as the leading cause of death among teens. With 12 to 15 teenagers dying needlessly every day, two grandfathers from Panama City, Florida, right here, have come up with a solution. Steve Ash and Gray McKenzie have developed and released a new smartphone app called Stop2Text. That's stop with the number 2 text. And I have here with me, I've got Steve Ash. Steve, welcome to the show. Tell me about this text app. Why did you do this?
Well, about a year ago.
Well, first, describe it to me. What does it do?
Well, basically, if you're driving, your vehicle reaches over 10 miles an hour, the Stop2Text app kicks in, and it blocks your texting. You can't text while that vehicle's moving.
So you install this on your kid's phone.
Right.
And they start driving. Once they're over 10 miles an hour, they cannot send or receive texts.
That's correct. And if somebody texts them while they're driving, that individual receives an auto response that says, "I can't reply, I'm driving."
How's all this work?
Well, when you're driving in your vehicle and you have the app installed on your phone, using GPS, the app figures out when you exceed 10 miles an hour.
We can get a shot of that over here. And all right, so that's what your teenager would see.
If they tried to text while they're driving, this will come up and block texting. While they're driving, let me find it here.
Yeah, it says that this app works by sensing the speed of the vehicle.
It does.
By making use of a GPS in the smartphone.
That's correct.
So just like your GPS in your smartphone can give you directions and senses where you're going and how fast you're getting there, it'll sense your speed too.
Right. And if you try to text somebody who has the app installed, they receive this in response: "I can't reply, I'm driving." And that's automatically sent out by our app.
So will it work on any smartphone?
Right now we have the Android version on the Google Play Store, and it's up and running. We expect to have the iPhone version probably in the next 2 weeks. We'll have it completed.
And is it password protected to stop tampering, or?
It is, but as we discussed earlier, these kids are smart. They're a lot smarter than we are. So we know that kids are going to find ways around it and stuff like that. I think this needs to be done in a partnership with the parents, with trust and love, and say, please, use this. People know you're not ignoring them because they're going to get the autoresponder, and keep it on your phone.
Yeah, and particularly around this holiday season where kids are out and about, maybe going to New Year's Eve parties and whatever.
Yeah.
That's very important, if you want to stay safe. I mean, it could save your teenager's life.
Well, we challenge the teens to try to get their parents to use it, because we know adults are texting and driving just as often as teens.
Yes.
The teens just aren't as familiar with the vehicles.
Yeah, I know adults who actually do that. And I see them sometimes at red lights.
Yes.
They'll stop there and they're texting away.
Interesting point, by the way. when you stop your vehicle, there's a delay of 30 seconds to 2 minutes where it's still blocked.
So you can't text from a red light.
Correct.
So even though it's...
So all of those
yeah.
annoying people that are sitting at the light when it turns green, they won't be able to do that with the sound.
So your app is kind of outsmarted human nature in that respect.
We want to break the habit. It's a bad habit, and we want to give people the tools to help break it.
What's been the response to this?
We've just started on Facebook, and we really haven't promoted it, but the response has been pretty phenomenal. We're getting in, I can't even tell you how many different countries we're getting responses now.
So now, if somebody wanted to get this, how do they do it?
Go to the Google Play Store under Stop2Text, and the app is there.
Or you have a website too, don't you?
We do. Stop2Text.com will give you a lot of information, not just about our app, but also about the problem of texting and driving. Some good videos up there too.
Stop2Text.com.
Stop2Text.com.
Steve Ash, thanks so much for coming on Waking Up with Don, and thanks for sharing
Thank
this
you, Don.
great app
Appreciate
with
it.
us.
Thank you. Thank you for helping us get the word out.
Thank you. You're watching Waking Up with Don.